Can you hear me? I think my mic can be now. Oh, it's connected to my headphones. No way, my headphones are on. Oh my gosh. It's MG1. Oh my gosh, okay. Can you hear me now? I can barely hear you. What the heck? I need to turn these off. Wait. My head. And they were connected to my computer. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. How are you, babe?
Oh, we're starting it already?
Oh, I mean, you don't want to start it yet?
Okay.
Are you shy already? Is your hair good? Is everything good? We don't have to start it yet. It's okay.
Does this look bad? Like,
Is what?
is this okay?
That's fine, yeah. You can also use the green screen. You can change it.
I don't know how to.
Go to video. Or actually, no, sorry. Go to yourself, the three little dots. Click on it.
Yeah.
Go to adjust background and effects, and then you can change them.
An avatar?
No, not the avatar, because then you're gonna turn into like a little thing. But look, I also got I got a UC Merced background too. You know.
Where do you do that?
Go to adjust background, and then on virtual backgrounds. You should have a few there.
I don't have nothing.
That's so weird.
Add an image?
Oh, that's gonna be like a picture background. Like you're gonna put one of your pictures that you have. It's fine though. I mean, that looks fine. You could just blur your background, but even like that background is fine.
Is it blurred? No, it's not.
No, it's fine. It's good like that. I've already had appointments with people where like they're like grandma on the back walking. It's fine. No, it's completely fine. There, that works too.
Okay. I don't know.
You look fine. Your hair's good. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm nervous.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know. I feel like I look really bad right now.
No, you don't, babe. You look stunning. You're gorgeous.
Okay.
Okay. Can we start now?
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you texting everyone? Oh yeah, I'm doing my MG1. Oh my gosh.
Okay, maybe. But yeah, I mean, how was your day today, babe?
It was good. How about you?
My day was. Oh, that's nasty. Sorry. My day was good. I just heard Coco fart.
Okay.
That's nasty. No, that's good. But how's college going?
It's going. Actually, it's not going so well right now because I had to switch my schedule to something that I wanted to like be twice a week. But now the bad thing is that I'm gonna have to wake up even more earlier than I'm supposed to. So like probably wake up at 6 and then leave my house by 7, be there by 9:30. But at least I get to leave earlier, so just having to deal with all that while being jet lagged still in a way.
Yeah. I mean, what, you just came back a few days ago. Like
It's been a week actually,
a week.
exactly a week.
A week? I was gonna say like a week, right? Yeah. Oh well, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I know you're strong though. You'll be able to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I believe in you. But yeah, I mean, you know, I know why, you wanted to meet today. Obviously, you wanted to learn more about my business.
Yes.
Yeah, and so, I mean, before I kind of, get started, um, I just want to let you know, that I'm not going to talk too much about business in this meeting. Um, I know you already know like the majority of the business of my business. I mean, you're my girlfriend. I've been doing this business for like what 8 months now, and so I mean, you buy products off of me already. You even help me, get referrals and stuff like that. So, yeah, but I mean, just like I was once in your position, and so, I mean, I had to go through this whole selection process as well. But yeah, I mean, I kind of just want to let you know that I just wanted to see, if our goals and values align, to see if, we can have a potential partnership in the near future. But yeah, I mean, I can, introduce myself. Hopefully, you know who I am already. I mean, you already know who I am. But yeah, I mean, my name's Christopher Castañeda. I'm a second year at, UC Merced, and I majored in management, business, and economics, and I'm also your boyfriend. So, yeah, I mean, we've almost been together for 5 years, but I kind of wanted to share, a little bit more about myself. That's just kind of surface level. Um, I know actually when we first started talking, you thought I ghosted you, but in reality, I got arrested, and I've told you about it, kind of like brief, like kind of surface level that when I got arrested, but I mean I was 15 years old, and I would say the reason why was because I was just hanging around the wrong association. I was just hanging out with people, trying to fit in, trying to be cool, and doing that got me, you know, at juvenile hall, and that wasn't fun. I was in there for like a weekend, and then I was grounded for like a month, and I actually had to go to continuation school. And while I was in my continuation school and like going through all that, I still didn't learn my lesson. Like I was still smoking, vaping, whatever it was, trying to fit in, and I just like really disappointed my parents. And hopefully you've never disappointed your parents. I hope you never do. But you know, it's just a really bad feeling. You have like this like kind of like this like dark hole. I'd say, kind of deep. But yeah. And so like after that, I've just always kind of felt like obligated to kind of I'd say like give back. To my mom, my dad. For like what I did. And I mean, on top of that, I had to pay like a very big restitution fee. So I started having like a bill. At 15 years old, and because of that, I had to start working. Immediately. And I like to kind of say, like responsibility doesn't come with age, but it comes with maturity. And at 15 years old, I had just, um, wait, sorry, I said that wrong. Responsibility, maturity doesn't come with age, but it comes with responsibility. Sorry, um, but yeah, I had a lot of responsibilities as a 15-year-old. I was working. I had a bike like 6 7 miles to school there and back because I got banned from the bus for smoking on the bus, and the footage getting shown to my school. But yeah, I went through a lot of stuff and I didn't learn my lesson. So I just had all these things piling up on me, all this pressure at such a young age, and I feel like that kind of just formed me, shaped me to the person I am today now. But just a little bit more context in that, after I did, get out of that continuation school, my grades started, slowly, inclining. They were getting a little better. I had a tutor, but once I got out of that, my mom, she just made the decision. You know what? I don't want you to be here in this negative association with these people, thinking that you're cool, trying to fit in. So she just moved me school districts, and that's when I went to not Novato, San Marin, um, and that was my junior year, and I actually enrolled into Avid. Um, I think you're familiar with Avid, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly. So it's like a college career readiness class, and when I was in that class, I didn't really like know why I was in it. I was kind of just in it because my cousin told me it was good, but there was a lot of people like me, and I felt like I'd say safe in that class. But the reason why I really like I'd say like look up to that class and that kind of like career readiness course was because my professor in that class, and I call her professor because she already had her PhD, and we called her Dr. LB. She saw something that I couldn't even see in myself yet. I never really, had this dream of wanting to go to college when I was here at Rancho. I just wanted to work two jobs, get a nice car. Why? Because I saw my brother doing that. I saw my brother working two jobs. He got himself a nice BMW, and he was driving all over the place, and I was like, that's cool. I want to live my life like that. But what I didn't see is that he just drove his car from and to work. Like he didn't really enjoy it. So I was like, all right, you know what? Like, how can I, like, actually, like, look at it from like a better angle? But I mean, because of Avid, I actually got encouraged, to apply to colleges. You know, I didn't really want to. I didn't want to write the essays. I didn't want to like, have to do all that work. But my teacher was like, no, Chris, you should do it. And I was like, all right, you know what? I don't know until I try. So I did it. UC Merced was the only school that accepted me, besides CSUs as well. But they offered me the best financial aid package, and that's what got me to UC Merced. Um, and I mean, just a year ago, I was a completely different person too. I was smoking, going to parties, doing a lot of negative things. They're bad for my health. But I mean, because of this business, because of this like mentorship, this association that I'm in now, I've been sober for 200 days, and I take a lot of pride in that because I was in a very, I'd say, like like deep place when it comes to like that like addiction that I had, and I would just put excuses and like to blame things because of that addiction. But in reality, it's kind of just all of a mindset and like who I surround myself with. And I mean, something that my coach told me that was really impactful was that I'm the average of the five people I hang around with. And when I started questioning, my friends who were, my good friends my freshman year, you knew a few of them actually. I asked them, like what do you guys want to do after college, or what do you want to do? Like what are your plans? I don't know what I want to do. I'm just trying to get through this semester. I haven't even thought that far. That's a good question, bro. But like, I'm just trying to smoke after class, and to be honest, I just want to work my whole life. So I was like, okay, what the heck? Like, why do I have these big dreams, these big goals? Yeah, I surround myself with people who are so like closed-minded and small-minded. So I was just like, you know what? I need to start surrounding myself with people who have goals, people who have dreams, people who want to be something in life. And I mean, yeah, I mean, you've kind of experienced my transition, so you know that's kind of just a little bit more about me. I mean, you probably knew most of that already, but I still wanted to just share with you, maybe on like a little bit of a deeper level. But I mean, I kind of wanted to ask you, babe. Tell me a little bit about yourself, maybe like your personal story.
Well, do I just start like anything?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell me like you know about maybe school, like your life growing up, kind of just like just tell me a little bit about yourself. Doesn't have to be a
So
lot.
I attend San Francisco State, and I'm a second year, and I am majoring in business administration, concentrated in finance. And a little bit about my life, I would say is, well, I used to live in San Leandro, so it was a very diverse city, I would say. And then I moved to Petaluma, a couple years after, when I was like going into middle school, I would say. And it was a different interaction at the school because it was like predominantly like white, so it was weird for me to like go from having all this diverse school and then going into like this other school which was like really different. So I was like, it kind of like changed my perspective on like a lot of things. And the reason why we moved to Petaluma was because my dad was opening his first business, which is a restaurant. And when I was at that age, I didn't really recognize like what was going on, like what was happening. I was just like, oh, like it's just for work. But within the years, I've been working like right next to my dad, and I learned so many things that I would have not known if he would have opened that restaurant. I would have not known how to manage my time, how to multitask, how to like talk to other people, how to communicate, and that's kind of the lifestyle of like working in restaurants, like really fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I just like learn all these things, and now we actually have two businesses, one in Santa Rosa and one in Petaluma, and
Wow.
it's a lot of work. I'll say that it's a lot of work.
I bet. Yeah.
Restaurants take a lot of your time, so
Mm.
it could get stressful, but we're a small business, so we gotta do what we gotta do. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of a little bit of my little backstory in short.
No, thank you. I actually really appreciate you sharing that out. And I actually feel like, like your story really resonates with mine, actually. Growing up, I started, like, before I was actually, I got arrested. I started helping my dad, work at his, not at his restaurant, but, he worked at a restaurant. And I would help him, since I was 13 years old. So I know how, busy it can get and how stressful, and, like, how you need to multitask, So there's, like, a lot of, things that go into, working in a restaurant. But you know, also kind of like small business. Like my dad owns his own taco truck right now. I actually worked with him, from like 7 a.m. to like 10 p.m. right now. So it's just been like I can really relate with on like the stress and like how you need to multitask, and especially being college students, it's actually difficult. We have classes, we have homework, we have just work and a lot of things going on. But yeah, no, I mean, but yeah, I mean, that kind of like leads me to kind of ask you, so like I know you said that like you're like running two businesses right now, and you know you're a full time college student. So I mean, like juggling all that, like I'm assuming like it can be really stressful, right? So like when you ever like feeling like demotivated, or when you're feeling down, like who do you ask for help, or like who do you reach out to, like is like do you like ask anyone for advice, maybe on like like what to do, or like when you just like you're kind of like stuck.
Honestly, I don't have all like I do have friends, but I wouldn't say that like I would like talk to them a lot about like my own personal issues. Like whenever I'm like stuck in like certain like when I actually need like I feel like I need advice, I either go to my dad
Mm.
or like my mom, depending on the situation, or even you sometimes. Like I ask you and you give me advice too. But like yeah, I would say just like you three are like my main people. Like my friends, like I do love them. Like I do ask them for like certain questions, but it's not like nothing important, like nothing like actual, like real, like when I actually need like help. But other than that, like other than you three guys, like I'll just deal with it. And I know it's
Mm.
not probably like the healthiest, but I mean sometimes that's how I am.
No, yeah, no, and I mean, we've been together for a while, so like I've been able to kind of experience some of that. But something that I've realized, ever like since like we kind of like started being together, and something that is like I'd say important, but it's also something very powerful that you have. You're very independent. I feel like it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like it can be very good in its own ways, but at the same time, it can be kind of you know like I don't want to say bad, but it could like you said kind of be not that healthy for yourself, because it could be like a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself, or you're just beating yourself up a lot, and so you know I actually like appreciate you sharing that out, and kind of being transparent with me there. But yeah, I mean, just like your mom and your dad, that's exactly who I would reach out to for help to all the time. Hey mom, hey dad, I need financial help. I need help with, should I work here or not? Like, what do I do? So I would always reach out, to my mom, my dad. Why? I mean, they're my parents. They're credible, right? They've lived like double my life. They know a lot more than me, and that was like my mindset like the whole time. And something that my coach shared to me, she shared like this like really powerful quote. She was like, you know for me to call someone my mentor, they must have something that I want, you know and when I like look up to my dad, when I look up to my mom, you know I'm not saying I don't want their lifestyle, but I want a business owner lifestyle, and my parents don't have that. So once I started this business, this mentorship, you know, I got introduced to my mentor. His name is Phil, and I just heard about his lifestyle. I never really saw it until once I like got into the business, but he's able to wake up at like 3 or 4 p.m. and play with his cats, and I'm like, man, I want that. Like he has two fluffy cats, and oh my gosh, like that would be like the best. That's like a dream come true. And like another thing is, when he goes on vacation, like he just gets his flight and he leaves. He doesn't pack any bags. Why? Because he could just buy everything when he goes there. And I'm like, what? I have to take like a whole luggage and like my stuff with me when I go to, and I'm not rich like that. I don't got money. So I'd say, what, like for me to call somebody my mentor, to kind of like reach out to, to ask for like, advice, would be like, someone that has, a lifestyle that I want. And that's, my mentors. And I'm not saying, don't take your dad, your mom's advice. I still ask them for advice. It's just whether or not I actually want to apply that advice, or not. And that's something that I didn't really, distinguish, back in the day. My coach helped me to kind of, start thinking critically. That's something I lack, and I'm still working on it. It was a lot worse back then. My critical thinking, to kind of just hear one thing and I'm like, okay, that's right. But now I kind of tend to like, all right, maybe question it a little bit at least, before I kind of just make my decision. But yeah, I mean, I know I kind of mentioned my mentor. His name is Phil. He actually retired himself, at 22 years old. And I've never met anybody who's retired that young. I'm not sure if you have.
No, no.
Exactly, right? So when I heard that too, I was like, okay, what? Like, how did he do it? I was kind of skeptical. I'm like, all right, is this guy a scammer? Like, how did he do it? But after he retired, himself at 22, he retired his mom at 23, his dad at 24, and then he sponsored both of his parents from Vietnam and flew them to the USA at 25. And I mean, taking like into consideration that he was an immigrant student. He came from Vietnam when he was 18 years old. He was a dishwasher, and from 18 to 22 he retired himself. That's like 4 years, and I was like, okay, how did he do that? Like what? Like I wanted to meet this guy. I wanted to talk to him. And I mean, so just like what you're doing right now, you're like in the selection process, um, and I was actually on the third step where I actually got the chance to meet him. My mom drove me to San Jose, had my first in-person meeting. And, I saw, the plan. I saw how the money works and everything like that. And I actually saw my mentor. And when I saw him, I was like, hey, Phil. Like, I introduced myself, I've seen his videos, I've seen the material he makes. But I asked him, I was like, hey, Phil, you know, my name's Christopher Castañeda, da da da. I introduced myself. I'm like, I asked him, if what you're doing is legal and ethical, can you be my mentor? And he told me, okay, Christopher. He's like, thousands of people asking that question. Like, every single business conference, every single meeting. What makes you different from everybody else? And me being a little, 19-year-old in a suit and tie, in a room full of professionals, I'm like, oh, like, what does make me different? I started like thinking, I'm like, all right, what does? So I kind of blinked. I took out my phone and I pulled out my resume. Oh, I have experience in this. I have customer service. I have cash handling. I have this. I have that. I started reading him like my credentials. From 15, I started working. He's like, okay, Christopher, stop. I'm like, what? He's like, that tells me nothing about you. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, no one's really spoke to me like that. And he was all like, I look for people who have integrity and accountability. If what you say you're going to do matches what you do. And after he told me that, I was like, wow, like that was pretty profound. No one's really, spoke to me like that before. So it really made me think about, like, okay, this guy kind of like the real deal. And I mean, he didn't really answer my question with the question. So I was like, all right. But I mean, he told me after, just continue the process. You're still learning about everything. So, that's what I could recommend you now. But I mean, definitely, like once you finish the process and you complete it, you should definitely reach back out and, we can have this conversation again. And so I finished the process, and I mean, I've been in the business for like 8 months now, and I mean, like here we are, you get to, you're learning about my business as well now. But I mean, that's just a little bit about my mentor. Sorry, I didn't mean to kind of just go on and go on, but I actually wanted to like ask you you know so I know like for me like what kind of like keeps me going. I kind of mentioned it a little bit like when I was speaking about my personal story. Like my parents wanting to give back to them. My goal is actually to retire them in the next, excuse me, 4 years. And I say that because I see this business opportunity as the vehicle to reach that destination. So I mean, I kind of wanted to ask like what motivates you, like despite like all these distractions, like there's college distractions, you know, there's TikTok, there's a lot of distractions nowadays, and so I kind of wanted to ask, like what motivates you, to kind of like wake up, get out of bed, run two businesses, be a full time college student, like so like what keeps you going,
I feel like what motivates me more is probably like my parents, like you said, like but at least for
Mm-hmm.
you, like for me, my parents are my everything. They gave me everything I ever
Yeah.
had, and so like what I want to do now is be able to give them back, and you know that I like do the most for my mom. She's not
Yeah.
close to me. She lives in another country, so it's more hard for me to show her love when I'm so far away from her. So whenever I do go there once a year, I try to do my best to like save all my money up and go over there, give her a vacation, show her love. Not only through like giving her things, but like being there. But it takes money to go and fly over there. It's quite expensive. It's like
Yeah.
18-hour flight. So just wishing that like not seeing her like having that distance, like I would love to be able to buy her a home here and like she could come here anytime she wants, not having to worry like, oh, we had to see each other like once a year, because it's not like the funnest. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
so fun to see your mom once a year. It's not like, for me it's
Yeah.
like hard.
Of
But like
course.
for me, for like one day to like be like, you know what, you could come whenever you want, like any time of the year. You could just come here, you have your own house, like, and being able to do the same thing for my dad. I mean, he lives with me, but being able to buy him a home, make him not work anymore, because I know he gets tired. Like he opened his own restaurant, and I know that took a lot out of him. And seeing them tired, it's like, I don't know, makes me like I don't want you guys to work anymore. You guys have done enough. Like
Mm-hmm.
those two are like my main like goals, like for me to like give back to them. And also another motivation would probably be having like one day to have my own business, and that would probably be like a clothing store. But I don't know if it'd be like an in-person store or like an online yet. I haven't thought about it yet, but like I know that I want to be like an entrepreneur. Like I know like for sure that's something I want to do. At least that's what I have like right now, unless I like think about something else in like the future. But as of right now, that's something that motivates me. That's why I'm doing what I do. I'm going to college, and I'm trying to get through so I could get that diploma and then continue on and hopefully like start my business or see what happens. So yeah, those are my motivations. Oh, and also to have many cats, as many as I can, and dogs, because I love animals.
Yeah, yeah, I know you like animals a lot. No, but I mean, I actually really appreciate like you sharing all that. You kind of talking more about your mom, and I can definitely see how that can be a motivation. You only see your mom once a year. Like that's your mom. So I can see why you do what you do. Why you run two businesses. Why you like you're going to college, and I definitely see the entrepreneurial spirit. Ever since like like the day I met you. Even though I know you're like a little shy, I'd say, at first, but once, like, once someone gets to know you, you're definitely more, more talkative and more out there. And so, I can definitely, like, see, like, the entrepreneur in you. And I mean, you're already showing it. I mean, you're running two businesses at once, and you started working like at a very young age. I remember. So, I mean, I see that, and I don't mean kind of like to kind of go back, but I remember when I was talking about kind of like mentorship. I know you said you kind of only had like your mom and your dad, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't really have like anybody else to kind of like look up to, maybe like like.
Unfortunately, I don't. I
Mm,
think another issue is because I don't really talk to a lot of people. Like, I know I could make maybe like professors at school that I like really valued their what they say about my work, and I actually had a good relationship with them, but I might be too afraid to ask them for like maybe advice on certain like school stuff. So like I would say it's a little bit might be my fault as well for not like reaching out to try to get a mentor that could potentially help me. So yeah, it's kind of my introvert self. So yeah.
mm, no, yeah. I mean, yeah. Uh, I've been able to see that, that you're a little introverted, but yeah. I mean, at least like you're making an effort. Like you're making like first step into actually like wanting to step out of your comfort zone. And I mean, look, we're meeting today. At first, when I told you about this, you were like completely like, you know what, that's not for me. I'm not gonna do it. And I mean, at least you're giving it a chance. Because I mean, you don't know until you try. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, not only that, but I mean, I also remember sharing out to me, that you kind of you wanted to get out of your comfort zone more, this school year, connect with more people, network, and build up your connections, and I feel like that's also really important, because something that my coach, something she always says is that it's not about what you know, but it's about who you know. And I'm not saying you shouldn't know anything, like obviously we're all going to college, we all want to be educated, but I feel like like the power of networking, the power of having those connections is really strong, because I mean they can open up doors for you, when you never even knew you had. But yeah, I mean those are kind of all the questions I really had for you. I kind of just want to like get to know you a little bit more than I already do, obviously. But yeah, I mean I kind of just wanted to talk about like the 7 step selection process. Essentially, this is step one. Um, I actually, would like love to introduce you to my business partner. You've already met him a few times in person, and I wish I could have had him, here in this MG1, here in this meeting today, but unfortunately he was busy with some other things. But yeah, I mean, essentially, there's 7 steps. This is step one. We're getting to know each other. Like a brief introduction of the business, and I mean, step two would technically be like me and my business partner. Tone already. Um, we'd kind of just like show you like the business model, the structure of the business, and how it works. Kind of show you like maybe some slides, so you can get like some visuals. I know me, I'm a visual learner, so that's better for me. um, but then step three, maybe you can come into like maybe an in-person event, maybe see like the actual board plan, maybe see like how the money works, because that was like what I wanted to see. I'm like, all right, let me see if this is legit, like let me see how the money works. But if not, we have our meetings on Tuesdays, where they might be like on Zoom, but I mean, I recommend in person. The energy is out the roof. You've already experienced it before, so I mean, yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, those they get really they get really pumped up. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I had for you today. I mean, I kind of want to ask you, do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
Oh. Mm, wait. Repeat that again. Sorry. Little.
Do you have like any questions, comments, concerns?
No questions, but I would like to say thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this chance to learn.
Of course.
And yeah, thank you.
No, yeah. No worries. I mean, I mean
Bye.
that pretty much concludes our meeting today. Before we actually end it though, I wanted to share some material with you, and I want to ask I'll give you the option. Do you like to read more or do you like to listen?
I like to listen.
Like to listen? Okay, okay. I'll give you I'll send you a video from my mentor. Um, gonna kind of dive deeper into entrepreneurship. I know you said you already have the entrepreneur spirit in you. You're considered already an entrepreneur. But I mean, yeah, I can definitely send you a video. You can kind of understand it, and I recommend taking some notes, maybe writing a reflection to kind of what you gain from the video. Um, but yeah, I kind of want to ask, like, when do you think you'll have like the video done by?
How long is it? Can I ask?
The video's only an hour long. It's like 50 minutes.
Well, I could get that in like a day.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I already have your phone number, so I can just send it to you there. And yeah, I mean, thank you for meeting with me today. Thank you for taking some time. But yeah,
Welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me.
yeah, no worries. You have a good rest of your night, all right?
Okay. You too.